Oh yeah, what up? This is my WWE Armageddon 2008 pay-per-view review. The opening matchup was Matt Hardy versus Koslov in a non-title match, and like everyone expected, Vladimir Koslov did go over in this match. Pretty much a subpar and lackluster opener. I thought the match they had after this with CM Punk and Rey Mysterio would have worked out a whole lot better being the opener, due to the fact that was actually a match that the crowd was into for the most part, and would have worked out a whole lot better as the opener than this match. It was maybe watchable at best. Koslov is a guy that doesn't interest me at all, and I think there's very few people that actually find him enjoyable or find what he wrestles as being good at all. I would pretty much say he is even the worser version of Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan, I think, is actually a better draw than Koslov, because at least with Matt Morgan, you can at least pretty much push him as a giant, whereas Koslov isn't a giant. He's somewhat muscular, but not muscular to the level where he's like Batista or something. So he doesn't really have anything that I think is drawable with him or worth pushing him for. And he goes over in here, so he keeps the undefeated streak intact. And at the same time, Matt Hardy is still the ECW champion, since this was a non-title affair. And I would give this match 1 1/4 stars at best. It was probably the match on this pay-per-view that I would say is easily the worst match of the night. Then the next matchup was Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk in an IC Tournament Finals match. Saw a lot of good stuff in here, a lot of good back-and-forth action, a lot of good arm drags from CM Punk, some from Rey Mysterio as well. These two worked very good with each other. You saw Rey Mysterio do a dive from the top rope to CM Punk to the floor. Very good spot there. A lot of good reversals in this match. A lot of good near falls in this match as well. Good amount of those. Not to a level where it seemed like it was overdoing as well either. So it was pretty good in that way as well. They did one portion of this match where CM Punk was going for, where CM Punk ducked out of the 619, went for the go to sleep. Rey Mysterio got out of that. And later on in the match, CM Punk was trying to go for the go to sleep again. Rey Mysterio was trying to go for a Hurricane Rana. Both of them blocked that, get out of there, and then CM Punk ends up hitting him with the go to sleep for the victory, with a very stiff version of the go to sleep where all the time the wrestler's face or nose pretty much always gets hit with the knee, and this was a very stiff way he did. Looked like Rey Mysterio at least fractured or possibly maybe even broken his nose, because there was blood pouring out of his nose after this match was going on. And then you see a little shake of hands, show of respect between the two after the match is over. William Regal was outside of the ring, at ringside the whole time. Thought he might have got involved in this match. Kind of surprised he didn't. I'm glad he didn't, because that could have possibly hurt the match. This was a very good match between these two. 3 1/4 stars. I would say they should have possibly given this match, a couple more minutes, 5-6 minutes, do a couple other things. I felt it was kind of shorter than what I was expecting, but still nonetheless a good match between these two. So CM Punk advances on to take on William Regal for the IC title. Most likely this will be on possibly even tomorrow night's Raw, especially since now CM Punk and Kofi Kingston just lost the tag team titles to John Morrison and The Miz, which they did acknowledge on this pay-per-view. Before the match, they showed pictures from the match with Miz and Morrison going over and defeating them for the tag team titles, which I definitely think is a good move for WWE to do. John Morrison and Miz, I think they do a good job of holding the tag team titles, whether it's the SmackDown titles or now they're holding the Raw titles. So definitely, hopefully, they do some good stuff with them. Possibly, them versus Crime Time. That could be a feud. I think they're possibly still kind of doing the Crime Time versus John Morrison and Miz thing online with the the segment things that Crime Time does with Word Up, and John Morrison and Miz do their online series as well. So hopefully they'll do that. I think that would be possibly some feud that, at least for both tag teams are pretty much which are entertainment tag teams, possibly could somewhat rejuvenate the tag division. And this, like I said, the match with Rey Mysterio and CM Punk, good match. Just wish it maybe would have got a little longer. So William Regal and CM Punk probably take on each other either maybe tomorrow night's Raw or upcoming Raw, or possibly maybe even try to help the IC title out, make it seem important again, maybe even hold it off all the way till the Royal Rumble pay-per-view on January 25th, 2009, and have that match happened there, try to get a little more prestige with the IC title, and most likely you are going to see CM Punk go over and defeat William Regal, and they'll probably play this off with the King of the Ring tournament with CM Punk and William Regal, and especially last month's Survivor Series pay-per-view where William Regal was hit with the go to sleep within the first 10 seconds of the match, and William Regal got pinned by CM Punk, so they'll probably build it off of both of them things, and expect that match to be pretty good. Then after this, you got pretty much a Raw segment. This was a segment with JBL and Shawn Michaels, which wasn't a segment where I would say it was worthy of being on the pay-per-view. Now, sometimes segments that are, just building up to something can work out on pay-per-view, like earlier this year where they did the Floyd Money Mayweather's in Big Show segment where Big Show got punched by him. That was good, and that was pay-per-view worthy. Or just not that long ago at SummerSlam this year where they did the segment with Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels where they got Shawn Michaels' wife involved. Those were both good segments and seemed like they were pay-per-view worthy, whereas this had Raw written all over it. It shouldn't have been on the pay-per-view. They should have just saved this for tomorrow night, but I guess they felt that they had to do something with these two on this pay-per-view, especially Shawn Michaels is a pretty big star, and he's not on this pay-per-view, so they had to figure out something to do with him on this pay-per-view. And what they did was, Shawn Michaels comes out here, he does a little promo, JBL does a little talking at first, and then Shawn Michaels pretty much says, I got to the point where I have to do something I don't like, and I know you fans aren't going to like, and I'm going to have to join up with JBL, so expect this possibly to lead to a JBL versus Shawn Michaels match at WrestleMania 25 with Shawn Michaels probably turning on JBL at some point, probably either during the Royal Rumble match or possibly near No Way Out, where it will build up to this match being a WrestleMania match. And this would be unfortunate for Shawn Michaels because I think they should possibly do something better with him with the WrestleMania 25 match than have him versus JBL. Even though these two have been feuding, I don't think it's a match anyone wants to see the blow off of it or the end of the feud being at WrestleMania 25. They should do a whole lot better with Shawn Michaels than put him in a fucking match with JBL, which is a match I don't think anyone cares about seeing. Then the next matchup was Mark Henry versus Finlay in the Belfast Brawl match. You saw trash can lids, a lot of weaponry getting involved in this match, some brawling. Wasn't nearly as terrible as what I thought. I thought this was just going to be a dud, and it wasn't going to be even, this was, not that good of a match either, though. The way this match ends, which probably everyone was expecting to do anyway, Hornswoggle comes out from the bottom of the ring, hands Finlay a shillelagh, uses it, hits Mark Henry with it, and Finlay goes over in a match I would say is probably, at best 1.5 stars. Then after this, they did the Batista versus Randy Orton match, which this was a match I was looking forward to a good degree. I thought this match could have been, very good between these two, but this was pretty much a very, very disappointing match. It was very slow and methodical, but it wasn't in the way where it was building something up and it was done in a good way. It was pretty much slow at the beginning, slow in the middle, and slow all the way to the end. It wasn't enjoyable at all. They had Manu and Cody Rhodes out there. They try to get involved in this match. The referee throws them out of ringside and they have to go to the back, so you possibly expect maybe they'll come out later on during the match and, cost Batista the match. They didn't do that. At the end of this match, Randy Orton tried to go for the RKO. Batista stops it, hits Randy Orton with a Batista bomb, and Batista goes over. And I would say a 2.5 star match. It was, at least in some portions, okay, but very disappointing match between these two. I'll probably lay the blame more on Batista than Randy Orton, but Randy Orton pretty much, like Batista, they both felt like they were going through the motions. They didn't feel like it was, the match that it should have been. It felt like they were really, really holding back from each other, and it wasn't enjoyable at all. The crowd, was into some portion where, Batista was very over with the crowd, so when he was hitting some big maneuvers to Randy Orton, they obviously, were on his side. Pretty much, the crowd wasn't even into this match that much. In portions they were, but not that much. Darn it. Like I said, 2.5 stars. Then up next was the Santa's Little Helper 8-Woman Divas match. This was a match they just pretty much added at the last minute of this pay-per-view. This match was a match I would say they shouldn't have added to the pay-per-view, but I guess for some time things and what they did after the match, they wanted to do add it to the pay-per-view. So this was Team Maria of Maria, Kelly, Mickie James and Michelle McCool versus Team Nattie Neithart of Nattie Neithart, Maryse, Victoria, and Jillian Hall. It was pretty much a very typical Divas match. Nothing very special with this match at all. Just like I said, a very typical Divas match. Very lackluster match that just got added in the last minutes. You saw some okay stuff from Nattie Neithart and Mickie James in this match. Other than that, it was pretty much nothing at all. Kelly, I gotta say, she might have did a few little spots in here, but pretty much just a very, very typical Divas match. The way this match ends is Michelle McCool hits this very, very fucked up version of the Styles Clash to Jillian Hall, and I would say about 1 and 1/4 star match. It's probably one of the matches of this pay-per-view that I didn't enjoy at all. It was probably even worse than Mark Henry and Finlay, and even the Koslov and Matt Hardy match. Then after this match, they had Khali come out here. They did a Khali kiss cam and looked like he was going to either get Mickie James or any of the other people that were on her side with Maria. But then comes out Mae Young, and they do a segment with her where he makes out with Mae Young. So seems like Mae Young's going to be one of those characters no matter what until she dies. She's always going to be popping up on on WWE TV from time to time. And this was another segment that felt like it should have just been on TV, and especially with the Divas match as well. Next match up was Chris Jericho versus John Cena for the world title, and this was a good match. Pretty much like their Survivor Series matchup. Just felt it had a little better flow to it. They worked out pretty good. A lot of good reversals in this match. The one thing I would say that was better than this match than Survivor Series was that this was at least booked in the way where it seemed like Jericho possibly could have went over on John Cena. He was made more of a believable, last time he was world champion, obviously, but it seemed like he was a more worthy contender to John Cena in this match than he was the previous month, whereas he was world champion. So, at least they did that, and like everyone expected, John Cena did go over this match. Chris Jericho taps out of the STFU in a 3.5 star match. Even though I'm probably giving it the same rating I did the Survivor Series match, I felt this had some better booking in it and a better back and forth action. I think these two flowed a little better, even though match-wise, as far as star ratings, it's probably the same, I would say. Then the next matchup was for the WWE Championship, the three-way with defending champion Edge versus Jeff Hardy versus Triple H in a very, very good triple threat. All these 3 stars meshed very well. A lot of good stuff between them. And I'm already going to give out the ending here. Jeff Hardy did go over, and Jeff Hardy won the World Heavyweight title in a shocking fashion. Didn't expect to see Jeff Hardy win this title. I know a lot of people are very happy that Jeff Hardy finally did become the World Heavyweight Champion. This was pretty much built up ever since last year's Armageddon pay-per-view where they had, Triple H and Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy went over on Triple H. So then they had a little roadblock earlier this year where he got suspended, then he came back. So definitely you got to say, I guess WWE's felt that he's, trustworthy enough to hold on this title. Hopefully they're not wrong, and hopefully in this case with Jeff Hardy holding on to this title, hopefully Jeff Hardy's learned his lesson. He will not fuck anything up. The way this match ended was they had Edge in the ring with 2 steel chairs. Looked like he was going to hit the concerto to Triple H. Jeff Hardy gets a chair, moves it out, then they get on the top rope. Then Triple H hits Edge with a pedigree. Then you see after that Triple H go for the pinfall. Jeff Hardy's at the top rope. He goes and hits the Swanton Bomb to Edge, so he pins Edge, becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion. Triple H pretty much, I guess, gets thrown or rolled out of the ring after Jeff Hardy hits the Swanton Bomb, and you saw good celebration after the match. So even though I'm not the biggest Jeff Hardy fan, I gotta say it is kind of cool to see. And hopefully, like I said, WWE has believes in him, and hopefully Jeff Hardy doesn't do anything to fuck this up. Hopefully he's learned from his lessons, and hopefully he doesn't do anything wrong. And I would say this match 3 3/4 stars easily. The match of the evening, and overall I'll give this pay-per-view about a 7.25 out of 10 because I did enjoy the 2 world title matches, and Rey Mysterio and CM Punk was good, and everything else was pretty much lackluster, but especially with the Batista and Randy Orton match, which was at least watchable, but it was kind of disappointing, but still had 3 very good overall matches, and other stuff was didn't really hurt the card as that much since you had two good world title matches and a good match with CM Punk and Rey Mysterio. So that's it for my WWE Armageddon 2008 pay-per-view review, and yeah, that's it. Peace.